This is Dr. Caroline Peterson and Natural Women's Health Institute in Sarasota, Florida. I want to talk to you a little bit about the types of people that I treat and what's a good fit. When I started out in my practice, I did a lot of focus on pregnancy and through infancy. And it was great for the time that I did it. I was a midwife during that time, so I spent a lot of time in people's houses, taking care of them and their babies. And then eventually, when I retired, I realized, wow, I'm tired and I need to have a more sort of practice that will allow me to not be on call all the time. And so at that time, my practice kind of expanded in different ways, going into functional neurology in addition to the functional medicine. And then as I studied more types of manual therapy, of visceral manipulation, the lymphatic drainage, in addition to the things that I had been doing with craniosacral therapy and chiropractic and things like that, then I started realizing, oh, I feel like I'm putting together something that is good for like chronic conditions and a little bit of a different approach. And so then I realized the things that I really enjoy working with and think that I can have a positive impact on more predictively are things that actually have to do with the pelvic bowl, the chronic pelvis pain, and the abdominal area. Those are kind of like my main interests. So whether it's like fertility issues or pelvic pain, pelvic congestion syndrome, incontinence, any all sorts of digestive issues, varicose vein issues, things that are like more chronic in nature that people generally have been dealing with for some time and or just have been too busy to deal with, and now are at a point in their life where they're like, you know what, I just don't want to have surgery, or I don't want to deal with this anymore. I want to feel better, and I'm willing to invest some time and money and effort, make lifestyle changes in order for things to get better. And so that's a pretty good profile for me. Somebody who is interested in taking care of themselves, making changes in their life so they can feel better, and has time so they can do it. One of the things that is different about my practice than other manual therapy practices is that I work a lot with the energy system and with the emotional system, because a lot of times, especially when we're dealing with chronic issues, especially when we're dealing with things that involve intimacy or a history of trauma or very impactful sort of intense times in our life, like pregnancy, birth, postpartum, there's going to be a lot of sort of involvement of the energy system and the emotional system. And so over the years, I've learned techniques and ways to support the person and the body in unwinding and untangling those stuck emotions and aberrant energy patterns that really help the manual therapy and the functional medicine to be able to kind of take hold and make big changes in that person's life. And so because I can combine functional medicine, manual therapy, energy medicine, mind body therapy, which is emotional therapy, my practice is different than like Clear Passage or other sorts of interventions like that are super awesome, but also more limited in their scope. They're not involving. They're primarily involving manual therapy, which is super awesome, necessary, important, but sometimes insufficient. And so what I've tried to do is to create something more global so that we can get faster response and more permanent response.